Remember when this kid was the next big thing in basketball? At 11 years old, Julian Newman was dominating social media. He was the internet's golden child, a basketball prodigy, destined for greatness. But over a decade later, his name has faded from the spotlight. So what happened? Where did it all go wrong for Julian Newman? Let's dive into the rise and fall of Julian Newman's career, a story full of talent, controversy, and many surprises.
Playing basketball my whole life, ever since I was 3, and I just love it because I love going around defenders and scoring and passing. It's just fun playing basketball.
To understand his story, we need to start from the beginning. Born into a basketball-crazy family, Julian's love for the game was instilled in him at the age of 3 by his dad, Jamie Newman. By the time he was 10, he was already playing varsity basketball, blowing up on YouTube with his handles and highlight reels. As a middle schooler, his mixtapes went viral, and he landed on the cover of Sports Illustrated in the New York Times. Julian's talent and charisma put him in the spotlight, and he started appearing on major TV shows like Good Morning America and Ellen DeGeneres Show. The hype reached its peak when Julian scored 52 points in a game against top-ranked Kyrie Walker, who was the #1 ranked player in the nation at the time.
52. Hang on, man.
The highlights went viral and has over 13 million views on YouTube. By his 7th grade season, Julian was considered the most marketed 12-year-old basketball player in the world, and finished the year averaging 19.8 points, 10.2 assists, and 4.3 rebounds. In 2015, he became the youngest player in history to score 1,000 varsity points, and in 2016, as an 8th grader, he averaged 24 points, 11 assists, and 3.6 rebounds. He was a phenom player, way beyond his years. But not long after, it all started crashing down. At first glance, Julian Newman seemed destined for greatness. He was the high-energy, young basketball player who could command attention like no other. The internet loved him. He was playing varsity basketball as a middle schooler and drawing comparisons to some of the best in the game. But somewhere along the way, the hype became his worst enemy. It started with his father, Jamie Newman. From the very beginning, Jamie Newman was determined to turn his son Julian into a star, but his approach to coaching was unconventional to say the least. Jamie allowed Julian to do virtually whatever he wanted on the court, whether it was dribbling endlessly or throwing up wild contested shots from 3-point range. Julian had the ultimate green light to shoot from anywhere, anytime, and for a young player, that freedom didn't help him develop the discipline or skills needed to succeed at higher levels of competition when playing team basketball.
Want to party but didn't work on the game. That's what happened. Airball, airball, airball. Break, break, break. Airball, airball, airball. Break, break, break.
He would throw brick after brick, and when he couldn't get a shot off, he passed the ball to his teammates at awkward moments, essentially setting them up for a bad shot or a turnover. This playstyle, centered solely on Julian's individual performance, led him to play very selfish basketball. He would rarely pass, often taking bad shots and showing little interest in making his teammates better. So when his team lost, which happened frequently, his playstyle was a key factor. Prodigy Prep. The school his father started to highlight Julian's talents became more of a stage for his personal stats than a true team basketball program. In high school, opposing teams quickly figured out Julian's weaknesses. Double teams behind the arc made it harder for him to score, and his inability to adjust or rely on his teammates made games almost impossible to win. Though Julian racked up impressive stats, over 6,000 points and numerous 3-point records in games, these numbers didn't tell the full story, because his shot selection, defense, and overall basketball IQ were all significantly worse than many players his age. And Julian was terrible at defense, oftentimes letting opponents take shots uncontested. It's bad enough with him turning the ball over almost every play, but it's just terrible to watch him let his opponents run through without much defensive effort. By the time Julian's high school career ended, his NBA dreams were already over. Despite his father's claims of D1 and D2 offers, there was really no evidence of this. Ultimately, Julian's flaws, his 5'7" height, lack of athleticism, and inability to thrive in structured team-focused basketball, became undeniable, and his behavior didn't help either. Julian kept picking fights, losing his temper, and showing poor sportsmanship. Even if his skills were NBA-worthy, his demeanor raised serious red flags for any potential scouts. After graduating high school, Julian found himself in basketball limbo. While other high school stars transitioned to college programs or professional leagues, Julian's options dwindled. His father's push for exposure couldn't mask the reality that Julian simply wasn't NBA material. But years later, Julian finally made it to college basketball, but not at a level he wanted. He joined Bethesda University, a National Christian College Athletic Association team, a league far below NCAA standards. To put it bluntly, Bethesda is considered one of the weakest college basketball programs in existence. The team has suffered staggering losses, including a game where they were beaten by 86 points. And Julian's performance at Bethesda has still been underwhelming, to say the least. In one game, he managed only 6 points in 15 minutes of play and went 0 for 6 from three-point range. In another game, he shot the ball 7 times in just 4 minutes of play, missing every three-pointer he attempted. Even in games where his team was losing by 60 points or more, Julian still struggled to get significant playing time, which says a lot about how far he's fallen. Because the underlying problems remain the same, Julian's play style hasn't evolved. He's still focused on flashy dribbles, isolation plays, and chucking up bad shots. His lack of fundamental skills like passing, defense, and off-ball movement continues to hold him back. If anything, his college career has only solidified what many suspected during his high school years, that Julian's game was never built to succeed at higher levels. So what happens when the dreams of playing in the NBA or even professionally are over? For Julian, the answer has been social media. After years of viral fame, he pivoted to focus on creating basketball-related content. His YouTube channel features vlogs, basketball challenges, and collaborations with other creators. However, his online presence hasn't quite taken off the way his basketball mixtapes did during his childhood. And the internet has not been kind to Julian, with comments ranging from constructive criticism to outright mockery. Still, his move to content creation may be the best decision for him, because basketball is part of Julian's identity, and even if he can't make it as a professional player, he can leverage his name to build a career in the entertainment side of the sport. So, what do you think of Julian? Let us know down in the comments section below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.